I'll tell you what.
I don't know what you do on the video there.
All right. Go ahead and call the meeting order.
I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is 12/21/2021. This is a special meeting. If there is no objection, we are going to forgo the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation. We have a,
Mr. Mayor, if I may interrupt you for a
Certainly.
second. I'd like for the record to note that we don't have anyone in the room. There's no citizen in the seats. And I'd like to be sure and confirm with the town clerk that the public notice was properly sent out on the sunshine list.
Sir, it was.
Okay, so we don't have any reason to believe we have a problem. Notice was put in the window and all that. And then Mr. Medlin apparently is not attending.
I have not heard from him.
So the five of us and the two town clerks believe that we're legally holding
Somebody just walked in,
a public meeting.
sir.
Okay, well, good. Good, maybe they'll come in here. So anyway, I just wanted that record to reflect that and make sure that we had done all we could to make sure somebody was here if possible.
I was in receipt of the email from the Sunshine List and also signed the meeting notice that was posted well before the 48-hour deadline.
yes.
I also received the sunshine list and I got it too. So
We'll proceed. We have time for citizens' comments. Needless to say, we have no citizens that are present. We're going to move the agenda on to benefits discussion for full-time staff.
Yeah,
Boy.
I'll talk first. Thank you for the opportunity to speak, Mr. Mayor. Just kind of going back 2 years in history. Back in December of 2019, Council did adopt what was presented as health insurance at that time for our full-time staff employees. About 15 months later, we learned that was not health insurance that we had signed up for. It was a shared cost plan, so it was not health insurance as regulated, by the federal government. And this is something that I'd like to discuss tonight. I voted for what I thought was health insurance back 2 years ago. It's something I do fundamentally believe in personally. I acknowledge that a lot of small business owners and employers cannot offer health insurance to their associates as it is cost prohibitive, but it is commonplace in municipalities as well as for larger companies. I do believe that it's an important part of any salary package, compensation package. And, rather than stating, what I believe, I think I've gotten that out there. I would like to read something from the Glassdoor Economic Research, very briefly, kind of supporting and aligning to my beliefs. It reads, in today's robust hiring market, employers are focused on creating attractive compensation packages for employees, including a rising trend of investing more in benefits. Gone are the days when salaries were the focus of the total compensation puzzle. Instead, workers today want benefits. It goes on to say 4 in 5 workers today would prefer new benefits or perks rather than a pay raise. Then it says it goes on to talk about what matters the most in this study that looked at 5 key benefits: health insurance, vacation and paid time off, 401k or retirement plans, employee discounts, and maternity and paternity leave. It goes on to say the core benefits still matter the most, and it has a simple regression analysis showing 3 core benefits that employers provide increase employee satisfaction and productivity the most. Those are health insurance, vacation and paid time off, and retirement and 401k plans. Several years back, the town did implement a formal vacation and paid time off policy. We're here tonight to talk about the health insurance side. as well as other benefits, insurance benefits, for our full-time employees. The town of Stokesdale has 2 full-time employees. So this has been about a 2 to 3 month ongoing process for me. I started out with the League of Municipalities. They're a good resource for the town for health insurance. I did not find their prices to be very cost competitive. Talked to a local insurance broker who had some good competitive Blue Cross Blue Shield options, and also recently had a discussion with an employee with the town of Summerfield, and she recommended contacting Salem Benefits Group, as that's what the town of Summerfield uses to get their insurance. I found that the 4 policies that were Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina that Salem Benefits presented to us, I found those to be the best value for our employees, thus the town. You can see in your packet these 4 different policies to choose from. One is highlighted in green, one is highlighted in blue, one is highlighted in red. The page looks like this, guys. And one is highlighted in gold. I believe, just kind of crunching the numbers, the policy highlighted in blue is the best value for our employees. The top tier policy that is the most expensive, it does have a lower deductible and a lower in-network out-of-pocket. However, it does come at an annual cost of $1,560, more expensive that our employees would have to pay for if this passes. I believe the better value is the option in blue, and I have laid that out in a spreadsheet that I'll go over a little bit later. Given that insurance market is now priced really on 2 things. They take a census of the eligible employees for insurance, and that census really just looks at if you're male or female and the age. Obviously, there's no pre-existing conditions or anything like that, but and that's how they come up with the cost. Being that we do have a limited staff, I would say, with only 2 staff members, you're not going to have the luxury of volume driving the price down. But, with 2 staff members also has the benefits of continuing to run a limited services government. Moving on, I'm also going to talk tonight, in addition to health insurance, about a dental coverage plan, a vision plan, and short-term disability plans. Those 3 plans will all be sponsored, as proposed, would be sponsored by the North Carolina League of Municipalities. I found those to be very price competitive when priced against, for example, a Blue Cross Blue Shield dental plan. I am a firm believer in a shared responsibility, meaning that the town or the entity would pay for the majority of the health insurance price, but I'm also a believer that the employee pays a significant share too. That's what I'm accustomed to in my work environment. I do acknowledge that it is fairly common for municipalities to cover health insurance in full for their staff. I don't believe in that, nor am I proposing that tonight. So to go over the numbers, guys, if you go to the first sheet of this packet, so item number 1 is health care coverage. I'm proposing that the town of Stokesdale pay $700 per month per full-time employee of health care coverage. When reverting back to the different plans in the packet, the 4 different plans, I thought the one highlighted in blue was the best value for our employees. We do have to select one. That is going to be the one I recommend. that's the one we do select, our employees would have a monthly responsibility of $124.30 to be included in that health insurance plan. The second item is dental coverage. This is the premium plan from the League of Municipalities. The total monthly cost of the town is $40, with the shared participation of the associate paying half of that, which would be $20. The total cost per employee per month to the town is $20. The vision plan, total cost, it's also the premium plan from the League of Municipalities. The total cost is $12, with the employee paying $6 per month and the town paying $6 per month. Lastly, we have short-term disability at a cost of $13.50, and also with that should be $6.75 instead of $6.50. That's an error on my part. But again, with the employee paying 50% of that cost and the town paying 50% of that cost. This was something that was budgeted in last year's or this current year's fiscal budget. If I may, I would like to hand out kind of a budget analysis of what this would look like if council did adopt this. I'm going to walk you through this line item by line item. Our finance officer, Kim Thacker, is out of town. These numbers have not been endorsed or blessed by our finance officer. However, I do feel very confident in these numbers in being able to say that the proposal tonight would fall within the fiscal year FY22 budget. So we had $14,000 budgeted for this fiscal year. This fiscal year spend for the insurance we thought we had, we were responsible as part of a separation agreement with a former employee that we would pay that coverage through December of 2021. So in this fiscal year, we had 6 months responsibility of that. That totals $3,189. If the two eligible employees for the town of Stokesdale did go on health coverage at $700 a month times 6 months times 2 employees, that would be a financial obligation of $8,400 for the town. There is an administrative cost for Salem Benefits to oversee the health care plan. That is $200 a month times 6 would be a $1,200 cash outlay this fiscal year. The town contribution for 6 months for 2 employees for dental coverage is $240. For vision coverage would be $72, but I believe there was a typo there that would raise that amount by $3, so it would be $75. And then the short-term disability would be $78. Net, if this is approved by council tonight, we could offer our employees this coverage and still fall under budget by $821. I think that I have gone over everything I was planning to go over. I'm certainly welcome any questions. At the end of the day, I do have 5 different motions I believe I'm going to need to make.
Derek, if I understand this correctly, the employee has a out-of-pocket every month to participate, if they participate fully, of about $63.
No, sir.
All right.
The employee each month, their responsibility for the health care coverage would be $124.30
A month.
a month.
Okay, so the employee has $124 out of pocket.
So Mike, it would come out of their paycheck, and it would be
It's a month, so it's a week. So divided by 4, it's not quite as painful.
what do you divide it by 4 for?
Weekly pay.
Yeah, divided by 4.3. We are on a bi-weekly pay system, so there are 26 pay periods per year.
Okay. I think I'm right. I think I'm right about $63, but.
You're not if you're speaking to a month.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, a week. That's what I was doing. I apologize. Yeah, no.
You're not right there either.
So $124 per month.
for each employee out of their pocket.
I got you.
The town of Stokesdale has as proposed, would have a $700 obligation per employee per month. Now, what the town has been paying is roughly $532 currently for non-insurance. I mean, this is basically the Jelly of the Month club we're paying here. So, you know, yeah. And so we're getting away from that, and I'm proposing that we move to federally regulated health insurance that would be administered. We'd have an appointee with the town, the site administrator, and she would have a contact at Salem Benefits Group for any questions, any support through open enrollment or any ongoing issues throughout the year.
Okay, so it's more like $29 a week. You know, I understand we're on bi-weekly, so $29 a week, so we're looking at $58 per paycheck. Am I close?
You're getting there.
All right. I'm just thinking in terms of what the employee is gonna come off, you know. I'm all for providing this. I have no question about it.
Well, you know, I will say this. And I do not believe that an individual, whether our employee or not, but could go out and get
I agree.
This kind of coverage on the market.
I agree.
So
I know you've done all the research, but I'm really surprised that the state employees they haven't gotten together to provide this kind of coverage.
well, you know, so that's through the League of Municipalities might be the best we're going to find there, and that is a self-funded plan, which
I understand.
it has its ups and downs with that, but it also only applies through fiscal year to fiscal year, which
Well, what guarantees do we have with this? I mean, is this not going to be an annual?
the guarantee for this is 2021. Come open enrollment season in November of 2022, we will get the new prices. We, of course, have the option to shop that out, which, you know, I'm always in favor of doing. And the open enrollment period would be in November of 2022. When we do a budget, so my budget season starts, I believe, in February or March.
Yeah.
And we have 3 or 4 meetings before that, and we've got to adopt a fiscal year budget by June 30th. So when we do our budget planning for what will be FY23, we would need to, of course, plan for this as we did this fiscal year.
Is this an all or nothing kind of a plan? In other words, can the employee opt out of dental or vision or short-term disability?
The employee has the option of opting out of all this. We would
I understand, but
we would need to have a form for each associate to sign and accept. Likewise, if an associate wanted to decline for whatever reason, that would need to be recorded on a form to be documented.
Mr. Foy, when you say associate, what do you mean?
I mean full-time associate for the employee for the town of Stokesdale.
We don't have any associates, we have employees. I think it's important to clarify that for the minutes.
Employees for the minutes, please.
Mr. Floyd, I'm sorry, Mr. Floyd, do you know if our other full-time employee, Ms. Hunsucker, is she interested in accepting this, or I know in the past she's been on her husband's insurance?
So it's a good question. It's something that I would suggest maybe addressing with Ms. Hunsucker one-on-one. This is not taking that into account. This is it's either all or none. I understand where you're coming from.
it is. You're making that clear. It is all or none. We have to have both employees to participate.
We have to offer it to both employees.
I understand, but do both employees have to participate for us to qualify for these rates?
My understanding is no, as long as we have the documentation where one employee or both declined it. Obviously, if both declined it, you know.
I'm going to ask my question again. If an employee chooses not to take dental or chooses not to take vision or chooses not to take short-term disability, does that knock that employee out of this particular plan?
No, sir.
Okay, so they do have some options.
They will have some options, yes.
Okay, all right.
All right, I have a couple of questions. The mayor and I, having been just elected, coming in sort of in the middle of this, in a sense, and I have read some emails pertaining to an employment offer for Ms. Yantz, and I think I understand those. What I'm curious about is whether or not council at any time has voted to provide health insurance or any of these other benefits that we discuss in dental, vision, and disability to the town employees, and if so, were there any conditions with that vote?
So there has never been a vote for an employer, the town of Stokesdale, sponsored health care plan. However, with Ms. Yountz's job offer, the job offer included her salary and also that the town, in the event that we did not have health insurance at the time, would reimburse Ms. Yount if for her own coverage up to $1,000 per month. And that was a vote of council taken on October the 21st of this year. And
If I may, there was a vote of council to provide insurance, and that was 2 years ago when we first came on council, and we thought we were providing insurance then, as proposed by the previous council, and it turned out not to be a proper insurance plan. So we have voted to provide insurance in the past.
With that said, has it been canceled, or does council need to make a motion and vote to cancel that plan, whatever it may be, so we don't have
We have.
an issue?
We've
That's been taken care of.
we have done that. It was part of a separation agreement for one associate that we pay that out to December 31st. And for the other employee, for the other employee, chose to discontinue that in March of 2021.
Okay, so it's not in play here.
No, sir.
But I just wanted to clarify that the thought of providing insurance to the employees has been voted on in the past, and we thought we were doing that at that time based on what was presented to us, the plan, and it just turned out to be not to be an actual plan. It turned out to be a cost-sharing program that was presented as insurance to us. But the intent of the council was to provide insurance at that time.
We can make whatever motions we need to tonight, individually with all these items,
Yes.
and be
Yes.
fine either tonight or near future. I don't know what the plans are, but
So I do have some motions written out, but, obviously want to give everybody an opportunity to ask questions, express concerns, thoughts, comments.
Okay, well, I have some things running through my mind here.
Okay.
Tentatively, I've done the math here just to get a frame of reference for myself. For two people over a period of or three staff members for a period of a year, we're looking at 26,370, give or take. And these plans are going to change. The premiums are going to go up. I'm just thinking about it conceptually. So when I multiply that 26,370 times 4, I get $105,480. So what's running through my mind is that we need to be sure that we're covering all our bases here. It's a bigger vote than buying a piece of a park bench to put in the park.
Yeah.
We need to be sure that we're doing the right thing. And I'm a little concerned that we don't have any citizens here. We don't have a member of the press here, and that makes me wonder if we should work on the details and continue to a meeting where we have citizens present. That's running through my mind. I don't know if it's critical. We don't have Mr. Medlin available to consult, but it's a big step for the town with our limited budget to go down this road. And pardon me with that, I would feel more comfortable if we had some sort of cap in place or floating cap for the future because we don't know where these costs are gonna go. And I'm always conscious of the people that live in this town that are on limited budgets that can't afford this kind of coverage. And they're trying to balance that between, those citizens and their needs between that and what our staff here needs. I certainly accept that most municipalities provide these benefits and that the town of Stokesdale has to be competitive for employees. But I would like to see this council put some sort of cap on this such that if these costs escalate, we'll revisit this and see what needs to be done, that they won't just be automatically escalated by the staff or the town finance officer, et cetera, et cetera. And so, once these things are done, they tend to take on a life of their own. And so I'm contemplating, how we can put some control in place.
So, a couple things. One, the figures that you had, the $26,000, how did you arrive at that figure?
And this is a rough number just to give myself a frame of reference. It's just simply the cost of the plan that's on the $8,790 that's on this sheet here for a year's worth of coverage.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the numbers, for the sake of my argument, don't matter so much exactly what they are. My point is it's a big decision for the town to undertake. That's my point.
I completely agree, but for the record, I would like to, the number that I come up to for 2 employees, and I don't want to, mince words or anything, but would be $19,580
Per year?
per year with 2 full-time employees, as it's said today.
Okay.
Tim, I think, when you mention a cap, I hear what you're saying. I think another way to look at that would be that council votes on this every October before open enrollment when we see the different options. And if we have to, potentially tweak the cash outlay for each coverage to better fall within budgetary constraints that meet the town, I think we could go there. I think having a cap, may not take into account that the number of employees could grow. I don't have any intent for the number of employees to grow. I'm just saying,
Well,
Yeah, it'll be reviewed each year.
well, in pursuit of that, be at the pleasure of the council here, but I would like to make a motion that we cap the expenditures at $1,000 per employee for the life insurance, health insurance, dental insurance, vision insurance, and disability insurance that we're discussing.
Is your motion $1,000 per employee per month?
Per employee per month, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
I just would like to have something in place so that council is forced to have to revisit this
Yeah,
when a certain level is reached.
Okay, I'll second that motion.
all right. Jim?
Aye.
Derek?
Derek is aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
How about you, Tim?
Aye.
And I am I.
So,
Okay, you seconded the motion, Mr. Ford, right?
yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
So, if there's no further discussion, I'd like to go ahead and put a motion on the floor as well.
All right.
So I'm going to make a motion for the town of Stokesdale to sponsor an employer health benefit plan administered by Salem Benefits Group for a cost of $200 per month, and that the town contribute $700 per month for each full-time employee participating in the plan. The employee would be 100% responsible for the cost of any spouse or dependent added to this plan.
I'll second it.
Who second? Mike?
Mike.
I'll second it. Jim?
Aye.
Derek?
Aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
Tim?
I'm aye.
And I am I.
Okay, the next motion I'm going to make has to do with our dental coverage. I'm going to make a motion for the town of Stokesdale to join the North Carolina League of Municipalities Health Benefits Trust for dental coverage and contribute $20 per month for each full-time employee participating in this plan.
I'll second it. Jim?
I would just like to
Is
have
there
a.
discussion?
Hold on a second.
All right.
I would think there needs to be a number attached to this in order to authorize the town finance officer to spend the funds. If you follow what I'm saying.
What was it, $20?
If I didn't say contribute $20 per month for each full-time employee, I meant to.
You did say it.
Okay,
you
that's
good?
20, is that, subject to adjustment, but that's initially $20.
It's
It's currently $20 on the paperwork we have.
It's currently $20, and that's what I'm proposing, and that'll be in effect for this year, or excuse me, next calendar year, and then come open enrollment season, we'll need to revisit that.
Just like,
So this needs to be revisited annually, Tim.
just like with the health insurance. Can I call for the vote?
Please.
Jim?
Okay, I just, some discussion on this. I'm in full agreement with the health coverage. I just do want to note that even at the state level, state employees are not covered. There's no part of, the state doesn't contribute toward their dental, vision, or short term that I know of. Because we have to pay 100%. There's some cafeteria benefits that's offered through companies like Mark 5, NC Flex, and different ones we may want to consider in the future. I don't want to hold this up over $20 a month per person, but I'm just saying in the future we may want to. I think we may have better options on these three if we come into a cost situation. That would be the first place I would look right there. I think health insurance is vital, and plus it's mandated by the law. That if we provide to one, we got to provide to the other. So there's a little bit more difficulties in health insurance, but I just want to just keep in mind that the dental, the vision, and the short term are, in most employers, are usually self-funded by the employee, or at least where I've been at.
Oh, okay.
So, but I'm an aye.
Derek?
I'm aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
I am also aye. Your next motion?
Next motion is vision. I make a motion for the town of Stokesdale to join the North Carolina League of Municipalities Health Benefits Trust for vision coverage and contribute $6 per month for each full-time employee participating in this plan.
I'll second it. Discussion?
Jim is aye.
Derek?
Aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
I'm also aye.
One more, short-term disability. Make a motion for the town of Stokesdale to join the North Carolina League short-term disability and contribute $6.75 for each full-time employee participating in this plan per month.
I'll second it. Jim?
Jim is aye.
I'm sorry, is there discussion?
Just so that I think I understand this, but can you define short-term disability as
Yeah.
it applies for this motion?
I'm gonna do one better. Okay. The following benefits provided by the Municipal Insurance Trust of North Carolina for governmental units which elected short-term disability. The amount of the benefit is 60% of the basic weekly salary. The benefit would begin on the 80th day of the disability due to an accident or sickness. The maximum payment period is 26 weeks.
Half a year.
Only employees working 30 hours or more are eligible for the benefit. So, it's for easy math, say a weekly salary is $1,000. If an employee had to go on this, it would be $600 a month for that employee. However, no taxes are taken out. So 60% seems to be a common number for short-term disability riders, and I believe it. I believe it to be good to true up with the employee if they needed to take this benefit. For unfortunately, hopefully they don't have to take it, but that would not be good. But this does ensure some type of financial assistance in the event that an employee would have to be out of work for a prolonged period of time.
Thank you for the explanation, Mr. Ford.
To Jim's point, this is something that generally the employee covers. Is this not something, if you have, for example, Aflac is something that the employee buys. Would it not be better that the employee pay for this? I mean, $6 is not a tremendous amount of money, and it, again, to my earlier point, do the employees have any options in this? If they don't have any skin in the game, I don't know why they don't know why they wouldn't just jump on it.
Well, the employee would be responsible for $6.75 per month as well.
I understand that. My point is, I have had some experience with this, and in some cases, it really hasn't been a very good experience as an employer. I'm not sure this shouldn't. I'm not sure this shouldn't be an outside option over just a flat insurance plan. Just
I believe it is, when you mean outside I mean, it's offered, I think it's just a benefit offered through the league, but it's just a matter of if we're gonna pay for it or they're gonna pay for it.
exactly. And so Derek's telling me that they're gonna pay $6 and some change. Is that correct?
75 cents, yes.
Out of their paycheck?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. Now, as an employee, if I don't want it, can I opt out of it?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
And then that would go the same with the vision and the dental.
Okay, I'm good with that.
The health, the only issue with opting out of the health is you have to, there's some legalities there. You have to be on somebody's plan or a spouse's plan or something, so.
Understand.
We just need to make sure but I think Derek's on top of that. But the rest of this is just kind of cafeteria or whatever you want or you don't want, one or the other.
A la carte.
Just so I've asked,
Okay.
there's no conflict with what we're doing here with the town's workman's comp policy, correct? We don't need to make any allowances or adjustments, everything's copacetic, that we're aware of anyway.
Not that I'm aware of. I think the workman's comp policy, if I'm not mistaken, is also through the league. I could be mistaken on that.
It used to be.
Okay. So I would think, this is me thinking, so I can't answer your question in definitive.
No.
I would think that it would be commonplace for a municipality to have their workman's comp through the league as well as short-term disability.
And workman's comp's not gonna figure into this, I don't think. I mean, workman's comp deals with Dale tripping and falling over a chair and, having to go to the hospital and all of that. That's not quite the same thing.
No, but I just wanted to ask the question. I couldn't think of any.
I'm not an attorney,
I
but,
couldn't think of any problem.
yeah, I'm not an attorney, but with my experience, no, workman's comp is, completely unrelated to what we're trying to do here.
We had a motion and a second.
We did.
And Mr. Foy voted, Mr. Rigsby voted, and I think I interrupted.
I don't think,
you.
Jim, did you vote?
Let's revote.
I don't think I did, so
Let's take a vote.
I'm aye on the short-term disability.
Derek?
Yeah, I'm also aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
And I am also aye. Do you have another motion?
That's it, brother.
That's it, bro. All right.
Good presentation, Derek.
Very good. It
Wow,
really
thank
was. It really, really
I
was.
tried my best. This is not my area.
I hate insurance.
Well, it's necessary.
Been dealing with it for 35 years. It's like attorneys and accountants. I'm sorry. But anyway, oh, is that on the record?
Congratulations.
Is that on the record?
You've offended two people.
Oh, well.
That's all right, they got 4 years to forget about it, don't they, Mike?
Thank you, Jimmy.
In regards to the designated group administrator, does this council need to discuss this, take any action for that person?
Yeah, so just to get it out there, I think it'd be a good idea if we make a motion. I'm gonna make a motion and appoint the group, unless you have somebody in mind. I was just.
Well, I'll make a motion to appoint Derek Foy as our group administrator for the policy.
I'm humbled, but I think it would be good to have somebody on staff be that person.
Well, I'm just.
Derek Foy's on borrowed time here.
Can I have some clarification as to what your motion is?
He works cheap.
Yeah, he does. But
But not well.
So he can be a staff member.
what is,
I would think that,
I would think Robin. would be-
well, that's what I was gonna say. 'Cause
Well,
you are
does it need to?
working to work here and stay.
tell me what this position is, if you would, Tim.
It's just a liaison, correct? Liaison to the administrator.
And I hope it's not gonna take a whole lot of, I mean,
That's-
it's not supposed to take. that
That's
much,
right.
Just like a contact. not-
Yeah.
We are paying for administrative support, and that is important.
Which,
Without that,
which shop does
Shouldn't
it,
be having to do anything except
Oh.
maybe send the.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
which shop does this fall in? Does it fall in the town clerk's shop or the town's finance officer's shop?
I think it's a clerk. I think the town clerk should handle this. Plus,
Yeah.
it's more relevant to them.
Well, I don't have a strong opinion one way or the other, but I think the question needs to be asked.
Basically, the administrator's gonna, take care of any new enrollees and just oversee the coverage as we have approved it.
yeah.
Who
It
would
should,
do- who
it
would
should
do
be
the-
straightforward as long as we don't go the way Tim wants to go and hire about 20 people around here.
Yeah. Who would do the paperwork now if an employee came in? Who would do the paperwork?
Should be the clerk. Should be the clerk.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I mean-
be the same person would do that then. I would say.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, if you were doing whoever's doing the employment packet and all that should be the same person that does it.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's.
I nominate Robin to be the administrator.
Well, I'll second.
Jim?
Aye.
Derek?
Aye.
Jimmy?
And you didn't have no discussion did you want
I
some
don't,
discussion?
didn't know that there was, if there is.
Lean back kind of far. I thought you might want to discuss it a little bit.
No, getting out of line of fire.
Jimmy?
Okay. Well, I'm an aye.
Tim?
I'm an aye.
I'm also an aye.
And that can be revisited if it has to be, if it needs to go to the finance officer.
Of
We'll
course.
revisit anything we need to.
And we'll huddle up.
Of course. This is typical, that the person most involved would be the administrator. It's been my experience, after 35 years, that the person that is most involved is the administrator. And that's not me.
All right, excellent.
All right? Are we moving on to water system?
Now, I have nothing else.
Okay. Water system? Somebody talk to me about something I don't know anything about.
You about to
Well, I mean, I don't really, we've got this money we got to spend.
I do know that.
We
I'm
have
very
to
well
spend.
aware of that.
I don't like that we have to spend it.
Okay, so what direction,
If
what
we don't
direction,
spend it, we're going to have to get it back, so we've got to at least get a plan.
yeah, what direction do we go in? What road do you want to put water on?
Well, I don't,
Let's,
we've discussed before, a secondary source, which we weren't really going for a secondary source, we were going for a secondary line. They kept saying secondary source.
That's Rockingham
It was-
County.
it-
I
it
don't,
was
I don't think
it was
there's
a
any
second-
option.
a secondary line, or we can go for a secondary source. There's been talk about trying to get Rockingham County to do something with us. It's been talk about going down Hall River Road. I think Jim brought it up, said it in the paper that Jim wanted to come down 65.
Yeah,
It did.
you said that. Yeah.
It was in the paper.
It-
Yeah, Jim Rigsby wanted to go down
I
65.
think Jimmy Landreth said that. I remember, because I was
It
sitting
said-
out there.
It said in the
one time
paper,
when he
Jim
said it.
Rigsby.
I don't think I said that.
I think
Yeah,
Jimmy
yeah,
Landreth
it's in the
said that.
paper, so,
Jimmy Landreth, it must be true, right? Must
Cancel
be
my
true.
subscription.
yeah. Well, hey, Derek's seen it.
Well,
We just need to soon, and we've got to get on the ball, because what's the date of that?
Yeah, so I want to share some literature here with council. Kind of,
I'm
I
dying
do
to ask a
remember,
few questions.
I do remember a couple of months ago, it seems like we voted not to enter into anything with Rockingham. We kind of couldn't get enough, I know we couldn't get a meeting with them, and we just decided.
I don't
to-
think anybody tried to get a
both of
meeting with them.
I don't think I would have any trouble getting a meeting with them, Jim. I really don't. I spoke to Richardson before I was on the council. He voiced an interest. Now, whether it's going to cost us an arm and a leg, I don't know.
Yeah.
Guys, so just to get everybody up to speed, in 2019, there was a House bill passed that allocated water monies to Oak Ridge, Stokesdale, and Summerfield. That's roughly $1.1 million. If you flip the page, on page, in the footnote to that is all that money needed to be encumbered by June 30th of 2022. So, we're 6 months away from that. So this timeline, this is a pressing and urgent matter. That's very important for all of us to know. With that being said, if you flip the page here, it looks like in April of this year, Representative Faircloth, Hardister, and Carter sponsored a bill to have this timeline extended to June 30th of 2023. If you look on page 3, I don't know how to infer this, but it looks like it's just hanging out in no man's land right now.
Yeah, let me check on, I know how to do it. I know how to tell if it's been passed or not.
Okay.
Give me just a second.
So it was important. I don't know if you guys were aware that this extension has been put out there in the North Carolina legislature.
But it hasn't been voted for.
I don't know. But I say that because, one, we already have sponsors from representatives to get it extended. Two, given supply chain issues and how far surveyors and engineers are behind right now, a 1-year extension would be very, very beneficial to the town of Stokesdale.
Agreed.
I'm at the point where, if you guys agree, I would like, or me or somebody, follow up with Representative Faircloth and Hardister to see the status of this and to convey the importance of a 1-year extension because of these, larger supply chain issues, construction delays, getting a project in place and having a formal purchase order so that we can formally have these funds encumbered in 6 months' time. Guys, this is a big ask for us to get this done. And it's not just going to be on us. It's not as simple as a vote. To give you an example, I believe 3 or 4 months ago, we voted for a water line and some engineering work to be done in front of the new by right to go down to the new development there at Gideon Grove. That engineering work is still incomplete at this time because the survey that they're waiting on, they were waiting on that survey. If that survey has been complete, it only would have been completed in the last 2 or 3 weeks. I do know that the gentleman that we hired voted on as a council to do that survey had not done that 3 weeks ago. Kennerly and Kennerly need that done so they can get the engineering work done. So this is, we're talking, that was a half mile. Any potential water line extension, whether it be Rockingham County or Forsyth, that's a much larger scope and project. And Tim is probably a lot better versed on this than I am, and as far as the ins and outs of having something like this done in construction. But I only say this because we are really pressed for time.
Well, let me make a motion here if I may.
Okay.
And that motion would be to have one or both of either Mr. Foy or Mr. Rigsby, since they seem to be familiar with this bill and this process, concerning House Bill 659, contact Fairclough, Hardister, Carter, and Riddle as listed on my third sheet here. I don't know what you call this particular document, but the last reference it makes to this bill that they've sponsored is on 6/28/21 in the Senate, where it was referred to the Appropriations and Base Budget Committee, I believe is what it says here. So that motion would be that they convey to our elected representatives mentioned here that the town council of the town of Stokesdale supports their effort and requests that they follow up on this.
Just a point of order on that. So the bill is still in limbo in the Senate. That's why it's not moved out of the committee. Don't know why. Shouldn't have, because it's not really needs to be like that. And just for reference, Representative Carter passed away.
Okay.
Who is our
primary.
senator? Who's our senator for this?
Our senator, our representative.
House bills.
Yeah,
So
these are all Republican representatives.
Understand, but
Fairclough and Hardister in the House. I'm not sure who Riddle is. Carter was in Rockingham County in the House, and he's passed. The other person would be, our senator would be,
It looks like this
can't think of his name.
passed on the second reading on the 15th with 100 votes in favor and
That would've
0
been in the
votes
House.
and no in the House.
so it has passed in the House, is what you're
Yes,
saying?
it's passed in the House.
So we need to go to the Senate, do we not?
I think we need to follow up with the names that we have. I agree with Tim's motion.
It,
Okay, you second Tim's motion.
My motion could just as easily said all sponsors, but the sponsors listed on the paperwork I have are Forrester, Hardister, Carter, and Riddle. And I understand Mr. Carter's passed.
Am I incorrect in that if it's being held up in the Senate, do we not need to go to the Senate?
So that, to me, that makes all the sense in the world, but
You would need a contact. The problem is it's been sent to the committee. You would have to figure out what committee it's sitting in, figure out who the chair of that committee would be. It would be easier to have someone that's on the bill to reach out through their contacts. That'd be a little easier process. Because if we cold call, we figure out who's on that committee, it could be somebody from the other side of the state.
So if we contact Hardister
That would probably be the best way to do this.
and then have him give us the information, do we go from him to the Senate?
We would probably let him just.
We'll let him drive
run
it.
Okay, all right. Well, you guys,
Fairclough.
you two seem to know more about it. Did you second Tim's motion?
I did.
Okay. Jim?
Aye.
Derek?
Aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
And I'm aye.
I do want to throw some numbers out there, some estimates. We're currently waiting on engineering work to extend the water line there in front of Byright down Ellisboro. The engineering work was roughly $16,000 or $17,000 with the survey work about $2,500. So that puts us $20,000 into that project. If council does vote to extend that water line, I think a reasonable estimate for that would, be about $175,000, $180,000. So I think you're looking at a $200,000 expenditure there. We mentioned we have that roughly $1.1 million we have access to for the next 6 months. As part of the American Rescue Plan, we also, and have already gotten the money, $360,000 that must be spent. I believe it must be encumbered by December 31st of 2024. And then we're going to receive in the bank another $360,000 July of 22. And that's part of the American Rescue Plan.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It would be helpful, and I think maybe so to Mr. Crawford, our new mayor, if we could read the paperwork, the notice, whatever evidence this town has received, notifying the town that we're gonna receive these funds. Where's the base document at? How would Mr. Crawford and I read that?
So, are you talking about the funds from the American Rescue Plan?
Actually, I'm talking about any, what I will call free money that the town is eligible for at the moment.
So first, let's talk about the American Rescue Plan.
Okay,
I believe that figure was around this is estimates, around $720,000 total. We do not need to do anything else as a council. Our finance officer has filled out the paperwork, and I believe the town passed a resolution to accept that money from the American Rescue Plan.
okay, hold that thought. Ms. Martin, would you find that resolution and copy it for the mayor and myself and put it in our box? Okay, go ahead, sir.
So, half of that money is already in, I guess, a special revenue fund, because it can only be used for water system, but it can also be used for broadband, sewer, and some other things. So, in my opinion, I think the most applicable use for the town of Stokesdale would be our water system, but there are other uses. And then we'll get the rest of those funds after July, or in July of 2022. And that leaves lingering out that $1.1 million. Tim, I can forward you a document that I have on a contact on how we would get that funding. I think the town of Stokesdale, the way I read this document, I'll have to dig it up. And Ms. Martin, I'll copy you on it because you may not have been here yet. And Robin, I'll copy you as well. That we would need to essentially show a purchase order, that the funds have been encumbered, and that we would be reimbursed from that purchase order. None of that process has taken place yet. Technically, with the purchase order that we've supplied for the survey and the engineering work, we could go ahead and submit that paperwork and be reimbursed for that.
Okay.
I'll get you that documentation.
Then I have another question, and
Okay.
for Mr. Mayor here as well, I think this applies. Has the council voted to allocate any funding for any specific capital projects besides the one on Ellisboro Road that you just mentioned? Is there anything else in the works that the town has paid for? Is there a project in progress other than that?
No, sir.
Not with the water fund. I mean, we have other capital expenditures. I mean, we've got a HVAC problem. That's
Right.
capital.
No, just want to make sure something doesn't sneak up on me or the mayor here, since we're new on the block here.
To answer your question, Tim, no. But, for the last, 2 years, year, since we did find out we, had access to this, first we found out we had access to this $1.1 million. And, several months ago, it might be 6 or 7 months ago, we found out we had access to an additional $720,000. So we're looking at somewhere between $1.8 and $1.9 million of federal and or state money that is going to that the town of Stokesdale can use for water capital improvements. Council has had maybe 1 or 2 special call meetings where we've had discussions about what to do with that funding. I infer that the previous council was in agreement of securing another source or an additional water line of water into the town of Stokesdale in the event of a catastrophic failure to the one line that comes in now, up 158. How we get there was discussion, discussion on which of the 3 options that we discussed, which is the preferred option. One, we have Rockingham County. I would say the big advantage to Rockingham County is that one, it is a true secondary source. It is. It's Forsyth County is our first source, and they're a fantastic supplier and great to work with. Rockingham County is a true secondary source. And in terms of linear mileage to connect, it's only about roughly a mile, maybe a little over. When you compare that to connecting either down Haw River or down 65 to Forsyth County, we're looking at 4.5, 5 miles there. So it's definitely going to be more economical. Quite frankly, if you look at the $1.8, $1.9 million that we have access to, I do not believe that will cover the engineering. I don't think that would cover just laying the pipe, not to mention the engineering work and the surveys that will be required with that kind of investment. That doesn't mean I'm an automatic no if council has a strong opinion on it. But I do like the fact that we have access now to the money and we could cover the Rockingham County connection. A concern that I have had about Rockingham County, and quite frankly, I don't know if it's a big concern or if I even have reason to be concerned, is that if for some reason in the future they changed away from free chlorine to chloramine, what would that do to the town of Stokesdale's water system? The answer, it may be nothing if we had a booster system there. I just don't know enough about that.
If I may interject,
Sure.
maybe that's just as simple as obtaining a quick opinion from our water system operator, Gary Machusis, with an email. See if he could give us any guidance. Him being our ORC, that's his area of expertise. Understanding he's not an engineer, but he might be able to offer up a little bit of guidance to us if we ask.
I think that's a good suggestion. That's a good idea.
I would think we ought to just simply open the door with a letter to the commissioners of Rockingham County. Just is this even an option?
Yeah, I mean you've got to start somewhere. That's for sure. I don't know if those conversations go up to that level at first, or if they start with the city of Madison and their public utility department. I don't know.
Well,
I will say this for what it's worth, and if money were no issue here, I would. To me, I would be heavily leaning towards Forsyth County and making a secondary connection there. But I infer that money is going to be an issue. Now, Guilford County they also got American Rescue Plan funding to the tune of $104 million. And we've been in communication with our representative, Mr. Conrad, about potentially getting a grant from the county using their federal money for the town of Stokesdale. In fact, the town of Stokesdale did adopt a resolution and we sent that to the clerk of Guilford County Board of Commissioners. And Jim and I also had a meeting with Chairman Austin and Commissioner Conrad. So there's potential.
What was the end result of that meeting?
There is no end result. To the best of my knowledge, they have not made any public announcement on how they're going to spend any of that $104 million.
All right, being a complete novice to all of this, how in the world do we find out about what might be available to us in public funding?
That's a really good question.
Let me just add on to the meeting with Conrad. They were supposed to, the county commissioners were supposed to come around to all the municipalities in the fall, and that did not happen. So we were expecting them to come around. We did a resolution at their request and sent it to them, and that's the last we've heard from them.
Again, I infer they have been occupied with redrawing new maps for redistricting. That's now complete.
Yeah.
So it's worthy of a follow-up. But,
But how would I find out that, that the state has funds for whatever?
May I say something?
Yeah, please, Dale.
League of Municipalities is a very good resource.
League of Municipalities, okay.
They have several
Is that a-
liaisons that keeps up with
Is that a,
all legislation.
is that a website, leagueofmunicipalities.gov?
Jeff, I believe Jeff Hughes with the School of Government used to be the expert as far as utility financing in the state of North Carolina,
and
if I
he,
remember
and he's
right.
no longer with the School of Government. He's with,
Drat.
who's the big, I mean, not DEQ, but the North Carolina Public Utilities. I believe he's now with them.
Well,
But I think, given his past relationship with Stokesdale, I still believe he would be a good resource.
And his name is, again?
Jeff Hughes. I'll help you find him.
Okay,
I've got his email somewhere.
okay.
It would seem council has several different options. All five of us could individually go talk to anybody we wanted to in Rockingham County. We can,
I think two of us going together.
well, we can vote on, select two of us as a subcommittee to go handle that task and report back to council. We can, with Ms. Martin's help, draft a letter with all the elements we need in it, review it, vote on it, and send that to the Rockingham County Commissioners. I'm all but certain Rockingham County is who we need to contact, not Madison, not Mayodan, not Stoneville, not Reidsville, but Rockingham County. They operate the water lines that are adjacent to us.
Well,
Realize
do,
that. Cool.
do we not have Richardson as an ally? Am I?
Well-
I wouldn't want to put words in Mr. Richardson's mouth. I assume he would listen to us. I don't know what he might say.
Okay.
He would listen to us. He certainly, is well connected to the town of Stokesdale, but he was elected to act in the best interest of Rockingham County.
Exactly,
so.
exactly. Yeah, I don't question that at all. We have him, and I'm guessing most of the council knows him. I was fortunate enough to meet him.
Well, I do, yeah.
Yeah, I know him as well.
So, out of those three possibilities, do y'all have any feeling about which path we should go down?
Well, this isn't always the best thing to say in government, because I know things move slow, kind of by design, but for a reason. But on this one, I kind of feel like a little hustle never hurt a horse, and I think we need to get the ball moving.
I really believe if we went back in the minutes, though, that we kind of talked through the Rockingham County stuff, and we decided it wasn't a viable option for a couple of reasons, but one of those being, would they be able to supply us if our Winston supply went completely out? Would they be willing to allocate enough water for us? Instead of just a supplementing, we kind of looked at it from a, would they be able to take it over if Winston back out?
There was also supposed to be a meeting between two council members in Rockingham County, and that did not happen. So that conversation was a lot of speculation. Great questions were brought up that night, and I remember having some of those concerns, and you're right. But we don't know until we know.
Okay, I will make the motion if I need to, but I will volunteer to pursue this in limited fashion and report back to council, provided that another council member is also part of that motion, to contact Rockingham County manager, Rockingham County engineering, anyone else that may be in the loop that we need to talk to.
And just to reiterate, this is a conversation, if I could, would you conversation, not so much, anything. It's nothing more than that. It's what can you do, type conversation like that.
Well, the motion can be as narrow or as broad as one of our members cares to make it.
I mean,
I'm kind of, a little hesitant to volunteer here because it's sort of like being in the Army. You don't want to volunteer for anything because you never know what might happen.
I think the conversation needs to be broad in scope because we do, we need to understand the price per thousand, and that's the low hanging fruit. But understand how the water is treated, if there's any plans for it to be treated differently. Understand their capacity, not just now, but their future capacity.
So,
But yeah.
and so far as resources, we have our own Gary Machusis. I assume we're still a member of the Rural Water Association. We can contact them with any questions, preliminary questions we may have. And I don't know who we have on call on staff so far as a small engineering firm that we might talk to. And then there's all the various representatives and departments in Rockingham County. I just wouldn't want to get in a position where I was obligated to make this work out for the benefit of the town of Stokesdale, because we would be, all we can do is request
Right.
price, terms, and conditions from Rockingham County. We're have no way of compelling them to do anything.
I'm not knowledgeable enough in this, I don't think, to be the second to you, Tim. I would ask one of the other council members if they feel like they can provide the time, and two of you can meet with, whether it's the county manager or whoever it happens to be that can help us with this. I'm asking for a volunteer.
I cannot provide the time to go up there right now. I don't have the time off.
This is important. Make the time. It doesn't hurt to have the conversation. We need to have this.
I'll be more than happy to do this. I'm just telling you right now, I'm not knowledgeable enough. Now, Tim is very knowledgeable, but,
It's in the best interest of the council and the town, I think, that council votes and delegates this to two of us instead of one, and obviously three can't go because of the open meetings law and what have you.
I would think, Mike, that we would certainly have confidence in your ability to go if we kind of could prep you with a few of the questions that had come up in the past.
very good, very good. I'll do it.
And,
I'll do it.
they're very direct, very specific. What could you commit to us? What's your water treated with? How much allocation could you commit?
Jim, if you have these things.
They say we can only commit 100,000 gallons. I think, what are we using, about 300,000 right now a day?
That's our cap, but we average about 110,000 gallons a day. Of course, that's an average. On a high demand day, it could be well over 200,000.
I don't mean anything by this. I would volunteer, but I'll tell you the truth, I think Derek, he's a walking encyclopedia almost, and he knows this stuff probably.
He doesn't have the time, I don't think, Jimmy.
Well, I don't know, let's ask him.
Okay, well.
I infer we're talking a couple meetings.
Yeah, just for the secondary water source for Rockingham County.
Council could vote for Mr. Crawford as an alternate.
I'm not knocking Mr. Crawford whatsoever.
Take no
I'm knocking myself too, if I'm knocking you.
Take no offense.
Derek's just,
Well,
I can't help it, he's sharp, so.
Here's my suggestion. This is an opening meeting, okay? If Tim and I should happen to be the ones to go to the initial meeting, as long as we don't completely blow it out of the water, Derek and Tim could be in the next meeting, which would iron out whatever details there may be, if that'll make it any easier.
yeah.
I don't have a problem. I do think Derek could probably put you some good points that we need to get covered that are requirements.
How about you guys give me an email? You guys get me an email and copy Tim on whatever it is you have in mind. Tim, we'll make arrangements to meet with, who do you think we go to? The county manager?
Well, the elected representatives, county manager, county engineering, the list kind of goes on with
Give me an
government,
idea, I mean,
Well, I hesitate to incorporate name people in a motion because we may leave somebody out that we feel like we need to talk to. So that's my hesitation.
okay.
Mr. Rigsby. Mr. Rigsby.
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Rigsby. I'll pass on what I know to you in case you don't know this. Up at Sylvania Road and 68, there's been a large water main in place there that Rockingham County owns for many years. It was reported to me that it's a 16-inch water main. And then Rockingham County has currently at least 3 elevated tanks that they own, stringing going north up towards Madison. So the way this was explained to me by the water plant operator in Madison, Mayodan and Madison between them produce this water, and it's metered out into the Rockingham County piping. Rockingham County sells it to their customers, sends out the bills and collects the money, and then they pay a wholesale rate back to Madison and Mayodan. And I feel fairly confident that my information is correct. But we certainly need to narrow that down. But to your question about capacity, just from a layman's point of view there, they seem to have a significant amount of capacity if they will share it with us.
Right, I just want to make sure that point is taken, because that's one of the main points that we need to know, that if we enter an agreement with them, that it's not a limited agreement that would not supply the entire town. If the worst case scenario came up, and that's why we're talking about this to start with, is worst case scenario.
Yeah, we would initially be working to try to get some sort of frame of reference on price, on terms and conditions, just like any other contract. And I don't know what the rough, maybe it would start out as some sort of memo of understanding that the town of Stokesdale and Rockingham County could vote on. And then we could turn it over to the engineers and the attorneys to work out the details between the two parties. That's my thinking anyway.
Yeah, if they shut us off at 100,000 gallons, we know that's not gonna work. So.
You're right.
So, I mean, then we go back to Forsyth, if that's what we've gotta do.
Well, we're not going away from Forsyth.
No, but I'm just saying up Hall River, that's just, all we're doing is
Oh, I
making
see,
a circle.
I see, yeah.
I just want to make sure that if we're going to make a major investment, that it covers what our need would be in
Absolutely.
the worst case scenario, and that's capacity. Obviously, to me, price is a little bit down that list, because in that scenario, we've got to have water.
Yeah.
Got to have water, but we're not trying to, make it clear we're not trying to compete with Winston, because they've been a really good partner with us. We're just trying to provide a supplemental source if needed,
Exactly.
as our town grows,
And whoever makes this initial meeting, I think it is just that, it's an initial meeting. We get a few things out of the way and see if we have any room to move forward.
But we figure out what our questions need to be.
Okay, so Jim, if you'll email me whatever information I need to have, whatever questions I need to ask, and, Tim is very well versed in this, but whatever anyone can give me in this education, Jimmy, I would greatly appreciate it. Yeah. So email it to me, and Tim and I'll make arrangements to go see these people.
That sounds great. Thank you.
All right?
Whoa, wait a minute now. I'm not willing to undertake this task without a motion and a vote of council for us to do so. I think that's appropriate here. If not, I would like for y'all to explain to me why not.
All right, I make a motion that Tim Jones and I, the mayor of Stokesdale, approach Rockingham County for a supplemental supply of water.
I second that motion.
Okay.
We need any bullet points on that motion?
I was going to suggest some amendments here, if I may, Mr. Crawford. That would be that we discuss with Rockingham County or any of the other interested parties in Rockingham County price, terms, and conditions that would allow the town of Stokesdale to establish a secondary source of water for the town of Stokesdale that's sufficient for our needs in the future, and that we would be working towards getting some sort of memo from Rockingham County that we could bring back to the town council here to review for a second step, the next step. Would you accept my amendment?
I accept the amendment. Jim? Do you accept the amendment?
Yes, I accept it.
Jim made the second. Jim, your vote?
Aye.
Derek?
Aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
And I am also aye. We're opening the floor for citizens' comments. Anybody out there that'd like to speak up, now is the time. You got a 3-minute limit. Let's have some closing comments from me. I'm sorry.
And again, Ms. Martin, council, I think it would be appropriate to note in the minutes that we still don't have anybody in the seats.
Closing comments, Jim?
Just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, and hopefully we can work together as a council moving forward and do some good for the town of Stokesdale.
Derek?
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Jimmy?
Everybody have a Merry Christmas.
Timmy?
Well, I'd like to thank the staff for being here on a dark, lonely night with no citizens here, and like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas.
Robin, Dale, I'd like to wish both of you a very Merry Christmas. Robin, thank you. Glad you're here, okay? Look forward to a lot of good things. Hope this health insurance policy will be exactly what you're looking for. Good, very, very good. Dale, do you need me for anything?
We're all good.
All right.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
If you'll let me know when we're off air.
We are adjourned.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn. We don't have to do that.
Oh, we don't have to, do we?
Or do we? I guess he can do it. He did it.
Adjourned.
I'm the mayor.
I didn't want to do this in front, on during the meeting, but
Are we still on air?